Alright, it's Kevin again. We're here with another project. I use a radio in my garage, and normally I use a car radio. And it seems like a car radio is more durable than a house radio. But I noticed the last one I had up there, it seemed like it got a lot of dust in it, and it made it harder for the CD to come in and out, and it was just pretty rough. Well, a friend of mine gave me another CD player radio. It's actually a Kenwood, and seems like it's going to be a pretty good little radio. I'm going to build a box to put this radio in, and I always use these because I use a 12 volt radio. That way I can run this little power supply. I have a little power supply so I can plug it into the wall, or I can plug it into a 12 volt battery and still run my radio. If we ain't got no power, I can run either I could use just a car battery, hook a car battery up to it, or I can run the 12 volt power supply, and I can use it on 110. I can use 110 or 12 volt. So either way you go about it, whether I have electricity or not, I'm still going to be listening to the radio. So I'm going to build a box this time to put the radio in and the power supply, and that way it won't get dirty. And I'm not sure, I've been laying this up on the top of here, and I'm not sure if the weight of that on top of there is hurting that or not. But anyhow, we're going to build a box with both of these in there. So let's see how it goes. Okay, what we have here is I traced out a oval shape which matches the front of this radio. I hope it does. But anyhow, it's supposed to match the front of that radio. So we're going to cut that out and see what we can get that to fit right in there, nice and snug. Okay, fits like a glove. So we're going to drill a couple little holes, and we're going to put some bolts in here, and we're going to get this thing secured in here so it'll be nice and sturdy. That just consists in 4 little holes, and on the back here you got these 4 little things. I'll put a little spacer in behind each one of these, and I'll bolt this down. This will be what holds our radio inside the wooden box. Okay, alright, we got our little spacers. I just cut them out of little copper tubing. I think they'll work just fine. We'll slide them up underneath here. We'll drill us a hole and bolt that down. That'll hold that piece of plastic in there pretty good. So we'll just get us a hole drilled down through here. We'll take our little bolt. I'm not sure how big a hole. We got that hole pretty tight, so we'll just screw that up through that. We better put our spacer in there first, though. Put our little spacer in there, and then we'll screw that thing up through the spacer. Put our little nut on there while we're screwing it up. Okay, 1 down and 3 more to go. Okay, we got all 4 bolts in there. That'll hold this plate in. That'll be what holds our radio in. We got 4 little copper spacers in there with 4 nice little bolts. I think that'll work out real well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut a hole for our inverter to put it on the top. That way everything's mounted in one box with a plate in between them to keep them from that inverter that power supply from setting down on top of that radio. We don't want that. Okay, now we got our bottom place cut out for our radio, and we got our little power supply hole cut out, which this thing will slide all the way in. When I'm ready to put it in there, I can just put it down inside there and slide it all the way on its shelf, and it'll be setting out like so. And then you'll be able to hit this on and off to turn your power supply on and off. So we got both holes. Now we're going to start building us a box to set these in. Since we got this all figured out, we'll get us a box made. Okay, we got our radio mounted in there and our power supply. I'll show you what the back of it looks like. We do want this to be able to get air in there so air can circulate through it. We'll keep on working on building this whole box in, but we'll probably put some air holes in here so we can get air to circulate so it doesn't get too hot. And this box here just sets on a little plate here, and then we put a little support beam down here just to hold the radio up. We don't want the radio flopping around. And we'll probably just screw the back on, so we can just unscrew the back and hook up whatever wires we want and put it back on. So that's what we got so far. Alright, we got everything wired up in the box. As you can see, it's working. Our power supply is working, our radio's working. We don't have the speakers hooked up yet. We did put a 12 volt adapter here so we could run like a spotlight or a power inverter if we had to, or I can run off of this. I could run a plug in here and run it to my car or my gator or my four-wheeler. So this thing's going to run whether I have electricity or not. I'll still be able to listen to this radio with no electricity. All I need is a battery somewhere, and I got enough batteries sitting around here in all these four-wheelers and tractors and stuff. I'll show you the back of it. We still got to get a bottom put on it, but I wanted to leave enough room so I could get up here at work. There's your 12 volt supply, power supply. I just put a zip tie on it and held it in. I can take it out of there anytime I want. And then we have our 12 volt adapter here for your spotlight or whatever you want to plug into there, or extend it over and plug it into the four-wheeler or the gator or a tractor or a truck, whatever, and still have radio with no electricity. These are just my speaker wires. I haven't got them hooked up yet, but we'll be working on getting the bottom on this, and we're going to screw the back on so we can take it on and off. We need to work on it. Now, I will drill some pretty good sized holes in the back of here and across the bottom and the top so air can circulate through there. That way, if this thing gets hot, we'll let a little bit of air circulate through the inside of it. So that's our radio box so far. Now, as you can see, we drilled a few holes in here. That's going to allow air to circulate through this box. So we just left our wires sticking out, our antenna wire and our speaker wires. Don't forget, this is a garage, it's not a house, it's not something we have to be real pretty with. We just want to keep a lot of the dirt and dust from getting inside that the back of that radio. So I think this is going to work out. Hopefully this will solve my problems with the radio deal. So what we're going to do now is we're going to sand this thing down. We're going to try to get a little primer on it, a little paint, make her look pretty for up there in the corner. At least the front of it will look nice. We don't care about the back because ain't nobody going to see it anyhow. So it'll look pretty good. So we're going to get her painted up. Alright, we got a coat of primer on there. Now we're going to get us a coat of paint on there. Alright, we got our couple coats of black paint on there now. Don't look too bad. Looks like a perfect garage radio. Okay everyone, we got our radio all hooked up. It's all done here. We looks good, sounds good, and works good. So we have our 12 volt outlet right here with our cell phone charger. We can put a cell phone in here, a laptop or whatever. And then we can backfeed this right out of this 12 volt outlet right into a cigarette lighter or a 12 volt outlet on our gator or our four-wheeler or on a car. So this thing will run off of 110 or it'll run off of 12 volt. So it's been a nice little project. It's really important to me to keep the dirt and dust out of the inside of this radio. So I wanted to tell everybody thanks for watching my video, and don't forget to subscribe or leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you want. Till next time.